were very honest with me about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't drive, it's not a problem. You can come. You can also be married and come here to a program for a year.
Really?
Yes.
You can be married?
And you can be a mom or a father if your child is not going to be unattended. Of course, it has to be with a guardian.
Hi everyone! Hi everyone! Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, how's it? What kind? So, in today's video, you guys, in the Q&A, I had a few questions and you guys asked me about getting au pair if you have kids or if you have a driver's license. And I told you I had a friend who actually told me the opposite. And so in today's video, I am gonna question my friend about au pairing and all the other things. I thought it'd be cute. But before that, welcome!
Thank you!
Thanks. But so introduce yourself. Tell the people what's your name, where you from originally.
Okay, my name is Enid. I am 24. I am also an au pair here in Maryland. It just arrived, by the way. And my agency is Expert Au Pair.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been here for 7 months now.
And how's it going so far?
I am liking it, actually. I came to a conclusion that this is the best opportunity, professionally speaking, so far.
Mm-hmm. I
was very scared when I left my bubble in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking that this was gonna be as good as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very impressed because even the difficulties that we passed in here, they're worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. What made you become an au pair? What made you want to au pair?
So when I was a teenager, actually I was still a kid, I was about 12. I started my English course and my teacher was my cousin. She still have this English school to this day. And she was an au pair when she was 18 until she was 20. So when she started teaching me English, me and my sister Gabby, my younger sister, she literally told me, why don't you consider being an au pair?
Oh, so you knew somebody.
Yes. So she started explaining to me, but I was very young, so it didn't stick with me. This idea of being an au pair was just something far away. But I dedicated myself. I really liked learning English. So this is the first tip that I give to you guys in case you want to be an au pair. The first thing you want to make sure before coming here is learning English, and you know it. Right?
Yeah. That's if you don't come from an English speaking country. The George. If you come, so au pairs come for two reasons, most au pairs. Or like there are probably more reasons, but most au pairs either come to travel or to learn English. Because they come, like if you come to learn English, they come from a country that doesn't speak English, and so they want to come here and learn English and then go back, and you're more favorable, apparently. That's what I've been told. You look more favorable in your home country if you can speak English.
Yes.
And so you came, so you were learning English in Brazil, right?
I think, generally speaking, the biggest amount of au pairs that come from my country, they are the ones who always had possibility of studying English. I see that many girls in Brazil on the groups, they give up on the idea of being an au pair because it is not natural for us to grow up speaking English. Our main language is Portuguese.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I realize is that if girls don't do this since very young age, it is more likely for them to give up on this dream.
Okay.
So, yes, considering that you're from a country that is not an English speaker, like the first language, you have to make sure that you have at least an intermediate English to come here because of the emergency situations, right?
Yeah.
But if you're from Ireland, Australia, South Africa, any country that is culturally, naturally an English-speaking country, you just, come on.
So what does your family think about you au pairing?
My family supports me. They like the idea of me being an au pair, but I think it's mostly because my cousin was an au pair. So she was an au pair. My aunt, her mom, is my father's sister. She spoke to my parents, explained how the program was, but I also did a lot of research. So I made my parents aware of the rules of the program, everything that was gonna happen to me, how was the visa process and all of that. So overall, I think my parents support me. I think parents in general are always happy.
Yeah.
That you're leaving your comfort zone and coming somewhere
Not
else.
mine. Hold on. Let me check my mic. This is a different story for me. So I was the first one to like leave. I knew somebody, like my dean in college was an au pair, but my family, I was the first one that they probably knew of an au pair. So it was different. Like my cousins were like, go see the world. You're still young. But my mom was very like hesitant. Even my dad was like,
really?
They're gonna kidnap you. So I always say to people, like, do your own research, and I like that you told your parents and you gave them all the information, because I feel like that's the biggest mistake I did. I didn't give my family a lot of information because I'm Mrs. Independent. I kind of did everything on my own. So maybe it would have, like, now my mom's relaxed. Like, now my mom's like, fine. The second time when I was coming, she's like, fine. But the first time it was different. So what have you learned since becoming an au pair?
What I've learned
about yourself. Let's start with yourself. What have you learned about yourself?
It's because when you come here and when you're raised like I was, you need to grow mature. For instance, in my house, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she would do everything for us: lunch, dinner, and do all of this stuff. I wasn't living completely by myself, so I had mom and dad around pretty much all the time. And when you go somewhere else, the first thing you learn about yourself is that you have to learn the things that you don't know. Or you have to practice the things that you already know, but you don't do on a regular basis. So for instance, I knew how to wash clothes. And laundry here as an au pair is something that you do
for the kids,
for the kids, pretty much all the time. Whatever needed, you have to do. So for instance, in Brazil, I would wash clothes sporadically, and when you come here, that's something you need to do. You have to practice and you learn. So one of the things that you literally learn when you become an au pair and you lived with your parents or you lived with someone who used to share the chores with you is that human being is a resilient person. You know, we are
even
resilient.
That strong. Okay, so you learned that you're resilient. Strong.
The thing is, for instance, I reimagined. So Maryland is not the first place here in America that I'm leaving. I was living in Michigan before coming here. So every time that you're living by yourself or being an exchange student or au pair, you learn how to deal with things by yourself. And I think the main thing is that I learned how to like my own company. Because
I like my own company way too much.
Because it's hard for you to make friends right away, you know. We are lucky because we live in the same neighborhood. But let's suppose with my current driving limitation, because I'm still in the process of getting my driver's license, I'm gonna get there. But let's suppose that you're not living here next to my house. How would it be for me to make friends?
So fair enough.
It's one of the Aupair program brings a lot of knowledge and wisdom to you. But I guess being independent, doing the house chores, making friends, or if you're not making friends, you have to learn how to enjoy your own company. Otherwise, you'll go nuts.
Okay. So tell us about the famous au pair agency, because this is what everyone wants to know from you. Everyone is like, tell us about your agency. And off camera, we'll talk about her agency, and she seems like she's really happy. It's the same like how I talk about my agency. She seems like she's really happy with them. It's my first time hearing about your agency. I will put on the screen, I'll put like a picture of what they look like and their Instagram. But she's going to tell us a bit about her agency, like walk us through the steps and how you got there, how you found them, and like whether like they take driver's license or no driver's license, kids, that whole thing. So you have the floor.
So my agency is one of the small ones. As you guys know, we have 3 big ones here in America, which is Aupair in America, Cultural Care, and Aupair Care. Those are the bosses when it comes to the Aupair process. However, we do have Expert Aupair, which is my agency. We have Aupair International, we have Go Aupair, and whatnot. So when I turned 18, I applied for Aupair Care. Which is one of the big ones. But one of their requirements was to be licensed, to have your driver's license in my country of origin. So the thing is, I wouldn't pass the test at all. I was a bad driver. I was too nervous. Even though I was practicing a lot, I wouldn't pass the test no matter what.
Pause, sorry, I'm just gonna cut you. So she told me about this whole mafia vibe. Basically, if you're in South Africa, you will know about, they also pay cool drink money. And she said you pay cool drink money, but she was still failing. But if you're in South Africa, you know about the cool drink money. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, it's pretty much, if you do your best in Brazil to get your driver's license, but ultimately it's a matter of being lucky or being smart, because corruption is everywhere, and you guys know it.
South Africa. Yeah.
Okay, this is not a lie. I'm a Brazilian citizen. I can speak for myself. But I wouldn't pass the test at all, and I tried 2 times. I decided not to take a third road test because in Brazil it is unfortunately 300 on my currency, which is expensive. It is not like here in America that the taxes, the amount you have to pay to redo the test, it varies around $50, $60, something like that. So in my country, will be 300 on my currency.
$300?
No, 300 off my currency.
Oh, so what's your currency?
But you have to think. The same 300s you make here, it's the 300s we make there. So let's suppose here you have to redo your test. You pay $50. In my country,
let's do a converter. I want to see how much it is in South Africa.
But the thing is, when you live in Brazil and you earn Brazilian money, you have to think that the 300 are worth 300. You cannot think that, oh, 300 in my currency, it is the $40. No.
300? Oh, that's like, so in South Africa, it's 840 Rand. So every time you do your driver's license, it's 840 Rand. So,
is that expensive?
In South Africa, you have to hire the car, and the car that I hired is like 1,000. It was like 1,000. How much is that in your money? It was like 1,500. Let me convert it.
In Brazil, you cannot do the test with your own car. You have to rent the car.
Yeah, you rent the car too. So it's like 535 in your money,
which is expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's the thing: the whole process for you to get your driver's license in Brazil is 1,200. If you fail, it's 300 more. Each time you fail, it's 300 more.
Oh, so the add-on.
Yes, the add-on. What were you
thinking?
So
every time you fail?
Yes.
No, that's a money scheme.
I started my driving process here in America.
Okay.
And she knows it because she's been through it.
Oh, yeah. I've been teaching her how to drive.
Oh,
no,
yes.
No.
She's helping me a lot. But the process of... I started my process in Michigan. So it was $25 for me to get take my writing test. You know, the 50 questions, and you can
or take it again.
Yeah, you can take it again, but the $25, it's the writing test. You take your picture, you take all your documents, and it's 50 questions, and you can only lose 10 points. So you have to make 40 questions correct.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay.
So it's $24 for the writing test, and I think it's what, maybe $30, $40 to do the road test. And you can take your own car. So if you guys think it's less than $100, but again, like I was saying, when you're from Brazil or when you're from South Africa and you're thinking dollars and how much $8 is worth in our country, it is unfair.
Okay, I see what you mean. Like when you do the conversion, it'll seem a lot, but it's not if you're earning the currency.
If you're earning exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
So it was $1,500 in my country. It was very expensive, so I came to a conclusion that I wasn't very good at it. I did not want to be part of any scheme, so I decided to come here as a student. I was looking for the student visa. Turns out that I totally stopped my dream about coming here to America because I started a relationship. I've been in this relationship forever.
Oh, gosh. We all know that you shouldn't change your life. Well, unless you guys are engaged, but hey. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was 23, I broke up, stopped being in a relationship. And I was like, well, I need to get back to my old dream about going abroad, studying abroad and living far away from home. And I was doing a lot of research. And one of the things that popped on the screen, I was at work. I used to work with business.
Yeah.
And I was working in the office, and I came to a conclusion that there are some agencies that don't require you to drive in your country, and you can come to America because the driving situation is not a requirement from the Department of the State. It is a requirement from the big agencies.
Yeah. That's true. I always question that because I've never, like, I don't remember any of the visa departments asking me about my driving ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is true because I was like, and I even asked my host mom, I was like, do you guys remember having, like, to say, oh, we want one that drives? Because they did say they want an au pair that drives, but there was nothing on the forms that they were just saying it because my host kid has activities. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, because, and I said, would you guys have me if I had a kid? And they're like, yeah, would you still do your job? If it doesn't affect your job, sure, we don't care if you had a kid back home or not. And so it's like, so why agencies are banning people who have kids or like don't drive? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, carry on. So then you found this agency. So how did you find this agency?
I found my agency. I was looking at, there is a Brazilian au pair group that's called Aupair Grupo. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many girls are in this group. I think over 10,000 girls. So it's former au pairs, future au pairs, current au pairs all gathered. Mm-hmm. I think it's way more than 10,000. But anyway, the thing is, I was looking for, and somehow it popped on my screen that driving was not a requirement for this agency. And I didn't even research about the other ones. I went straight to this one. Like, this is my salvation, I found the one, and I went straight to it. I emailed their office in São Paulo. Jessica was the representative that spoke to me, and she gave me the she asked for the certain documents that I needed to give to her. We have to do the English test, the English interview, and all of this process. And
you guys have to do an English test?
We do. We have to be on FaceTime for a few minutes answering some questions, because if we don't have intermediate English,
it's hard for you to speak with host families. Oh, wow.
You cannot be interviewed by the host parents. What if you come here and you have an emergency on your first week? So the interview is very important.
I did not. So like in South Africa, we don't have that because
it's your mother language.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like, even for some people who speak Zulu or Afrikaans, we never, like, that's not a requirement for us because it's not our first, because we have English as the first language in South Africa. English is the first language in the country. So,
beautiful English, by the way.
Anyway, so yeah, carry on. So, you have the English test. So, if you fail the English test,
if you fail, you have another chance. You have to study a little bit, practice some more, get more strong, and do it again. The stronger you get, you have more chances to redo the test. You don't fail and then you're banned from the program. You can redo.
So sorry to cut you.
No problem.
What questions do they ask you in this English test? Because now I'm so curious. Like, do you have like a conversation like how you'd have with a host family?
Yes.
Like what? Like, hey.
She asked me about my personality. She asked me about my routine, about my experiences. What do I expect from the program? It's like you were doing to me right now. It's a friendly conversation. It's not pressure. You don't feel pressure.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so when I found out that I didn't need to drive to come here, I already had the money. I had the English, intermediate English. I had all of the exams. Mm-hmm. In Brazil, I don't know about Africa and other countries that Expert works with. There are a bunch of countries that Expert has a representative working. Germany, Hungary, South Africa, Colombia, and all that. But in Brazil, at least, we needed to give exams. You need to have a lot of exams. You have to have some vaccines, and then you're good to go.
That's the same with South Africa. South Africa, you also have to get checked. So you have to. I don't know about the vaccine part because I came before the pandemic, but you have to get you have to go to a doctor and you have to get like a medical checkup to say you got your TB shots and all these things. So that's the same in South Africa. And so then, how long did it take from you signing up to talking to a host family?
It was a very long process because, let me just give you a little bit more detail about Expert. It is not because they don't require the driver's license that you cannot have your driver. Of course, most of the girls that are signed now and working with Expert are girls that drive in their normal country. It is just that they don't require. So there are many au pairs working now under Expert program here in America that are driving since their normal country or came here and got the driver's license in here. So the only thing is, and they were very honest with me about it. If you don't drive, it's not a problem. You can come. It is going to be a little more complicated for you to find a family that doesn't need you to drive, because the Aupair program is mostly parents that are busy working outside of the house and need to take the kids to school or activities like Angel. So to me, it was like, maybe I'm not going to be able to find a family that doesn't need a driver right away.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
But if you are infant qualified, which means you have courses and you're prepared and you have proven experience that you are capable of taking care of a 0-month-old to 2-year-old baby, yes, it is easier for you to find a family that doesn't require a driver, because babies, they don't really have to leave the house.
Yeah, true.
If they hire an au pair for that baby doesn't go to childcare. So you don't have to drive. This is what happened to me. I matched with a family. It was a baby, 1.5 years old. The family didn't need me to drive the baby, so we matched. But I need to confess to you that I was afraid, because the kids, most of the families have bigger kids.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So for you to find a family that...
It takes longer.
One baby only. It takes longer. You have to do a lot more research.
Okay.
But the more prepared your profile is, the better. Because let's suppose it is already hard for you to find a family that has a baby and that doesn't need you to drive. It's already hard. You have to have a perfect profile. You know? The more interesting it is, your application, the easier it is for families to find you. You know?
So basically, you can become an au pair, but you just have to be patient because you don't drive, and so most families want people who drive.
Exactly.
Is that okay?
90%.
Yeah. Does your agency take guys also? Do you know?
My agency takes guys. When I was living in Michigan, I had a colleague. He was in the same cluster, Victor, and he's still in Michigan. And yes, we have bro pairs.
So which country was he from?
The same country, Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's cool. So guys, they also take bro pairs.
Yes.
And so, like, I know you went through rematch. How was that with your agency? Like, were you happy with the way they handled the whole situation?
Before coming here, while I was still interviewing the agency, because here's the thing, the same way that the agency, they search for things about you, they want to know everything about you, I was being smart too. I was doing my research about the fame of the agency, the quality of the agency. So I pretty much got all of my questions for Jessica, the representative, questions that I needed to know before coming here, not to get disappointed. So one of the first things that I asked Jessica about was, how many times can we rematch in case we need? How will be the process if we rematch? And one of the things that made me come here through them is the fact that they give you full support in case a family asks for a rematch, or you're unhappy and you want to change, or you go through some XYZ situations and you cannot stay with that family anymore. The agency is very supportive. They don't turn their backs to you. You are going to be heard. Your opinion is going to be taken in consideration. And my whole rematch process was peaceful. Of course, some things happened. Rematches are not always the best thing to go through. And in my case, it wasn't a friendly rematch, by the way, but the agency handled it just fine. You know, they respect me, they respected the family, respected our decision, and the rematch was very smooth. You know, I didn't have to be desperate or
that's good.
Go through another path. The agency handled my rematch and did my rematch for me. That's all.
That's good, especially for because I know like some big agencies, the one in particular I'm thinking of, they terrible with rematches. Like host families, I'll see all the time on Facebook, host families, au pairs just complaining about how they'll take one side with the whole rematch situation, and they can be very terrible. So it's good because I'm always like, whenever people say they go with like certain companies, I'm like, I've never heard of them before. Like, just be careful they don't like throw you to the woods and all. So it's good that your agency,
they're very respectful.
Yeah. So would you recommend? I know you love your agency.
110%. I am not gonna lie to you guys. Never once in my life I earned 1 penny from my agency, but everywhere I go, every time someone asks me on my social media, every time, even when I was going through the rematch and I found my host family by myself, the agency, they let my profile available to many families, and many families got in touch with me. But ultimately, the Aupair can also do the personal research. You already know in the groups. Everybody knows that. You can do your own research and make this new host family go to your agency. So I always made good comments about my agency, and my host parents, they heard me giving them the good characteristics about my agency. But ultimately, the family has to be in touch, and if they like, they match and they hire the agency. And my host family, my current host family, hired my agency, and me and both my host parents, we like the service that Aupair offers to us. We have nothing to complain about. Even though I rematched with my former host family, I am pretty sure they also never had anything to complain about the agency itself. It's the one of the most the well reviewed, rated.
Okay. So it's safe to say, and like I would never. I know, like I have a video out where I recommended 10 legit agencies, whatever. But I'm very intentional on like what agencies I talk about on my channel, just because I know people get scammed, and I generally don't want people to get scammed because of lack of knowledge. And from day one, when I met her, I was like, she kept talking about an agency, and I'm like, I've never heard of this agency. It's my first time. Like, are you happy? And I always ask Aupairs, like, for real, are you happy with them? Because I know some people have a lot to say about my agency, but I recommend Aupair in America because I'm genuinely happy with it. He even said, you may not be happy with my agency, so I'm always open to recommend other agencies to people, but I try to never recommend. I'm very finicky about like just talking on something I have no understanding or no knowledge about. So that's why I was like, when I said on the Q&A that I'm gonna bring you, I was like, I had forgotten the name, and I was like, because people were asking me in the comments like, what's the name? And I was like, I'm just gonna get my friend to come on. She can explain the whole situation to you guys, and you guys can see for yourself, because I don't want to talk on something that I have absolutely no idea about.
Exactly.
So that is it. That's about, like, I'm trying to think what else could I ask you that could help the people.
One of the things that I can tell you guys is not only Expert Aupair and the other smaller agencies allow people to come to America to fulfill this dream of being an au pair here without the driver's license, but there are some other characteristics that you can be and you can come. Okay. If I am not wrong, and I am not fully prepared to say this, but I'm gonna give you guys a tip, but ultimately I want you guys to do your own research. This is something that Angel
you have to do your own research. Don't just take our word for it. Go do your own research.
Yeah, because what I'm speaking to, I am Brazilian, and I did my process in my state with our virtual office, which is just, you can come here without the driver's license, but you can also be married and come here to a program for a year.
Really?
Yes.
You can be married?
And you can be a mom or a father. If your child is not going to be unattended, of course, it has to be with a guardian. That's what I heard about. Okay, so this is another information that I wanted to give you guys, but you have to do your research. I can really speak about 2021, how their agencies are working, but this is what I've heard as well. I heard that being single is not a requirement from the government. Not being a parent is not a requirement from the government. So yes, do the research. Like I was saying, I was talking to Jessica, which is Brazilian representative.
It may be different in different countries.
Yeah, it may be different.
What's the age limit in your country? Like,
it's 26. You have to apply until you're 26, and you have to come here right before you turn 27.
Okay, so that's the standard.
When you are 27, I'm sorry, it's the limit. Like,
okay,
you can apply for Europe.
Okay, so that is the standard. Well, I don't know with other countries, but yeah, it's the same because even in my agency.
Oh yeah, the agency's requirements may vary, but the age limit it's a department of the state limit.
Okay, you guys.
So this is one of the rules about America. It is not even the agency rule.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the government. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming to my channel. That is it. I hope you guys are definitely gonna see more of her. But
yes.
yeah, I just wanted to bring her on so you guys can hear more about her agency, why she's passionate about it. I'm gonna get her to try foods from certain countries. Well, South African food. I just need to find South African food here.
Let's try.
But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys in the next video.
Bye guys. Good luck to you.
Yeah.